My name is Scott Grissar, and my poem is called Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you. Have a blessed holiday. I'm not sure I heard that right. What's that you say? Merry Christmas to you. Have a blessed holiday. Merry Christmas. Christmas? I guess my ears haven't been clean today. I've heard of Merry Christmas, but never Merry Christmas before. I mean, I know of Santa and presents and bumping into people in every store. I know of cards, having received them and sent them, always checking my lists. I've even attended all kinds of parties and even candlelight church services. But I've never heard of Christmas. That's definitely a new word to me. How do you get Christmas out of Christmas? This I just don't see. I guess when I look at it, Christ is in Christmas. The words look the same. But when you say it the way you do, Christmas, I hear Christmas in another way. But that's the problem. The meaning of Christmas has been lost over the years. The very reason for the season has been replaced by shopping elves and little reindeer. Each of them all nice and fun, each itself helping bring joy as we approach Christmas or Christmas Day. But somehow they become many a person's focus, helping them get lost along the way. You see, Christmas in its purest form is humble giving at its best. Like the angels said to the shepherds, you'll find heaven, wrapped in clothes, placed in a manger to rest, where the beginning of man's hope was birthed on a starry night. God flesh to be held, Emmanuel for us, to be our everlasting light. To understand Christmas, you have to understand the cross. That's the place we all deserve, where sinners will suffer complete destruction and loss. The true meaning of Christmas, the way you say it, is not wrapped in presents and tied with pretty bows. The true meaning of Christmas, the way I believe it, is salvation from heaven brought to man below. You see, Christmas put into motion God's eternal plan, where his Son came to die and rise from the dead, becoming the bridge between God and man. Christmas starts at the manger and then goes to the cross. And when we get the full understanding of what that means, you'll pay any price for it, no matter the cost. So when we give a present, send a card, enjoy time with friends and loved ones, remember who started it all, Jesus Christ, our salvation, God's one and only Son. For if he never came on that Christmas night 2,000 years ago, we'd be utterly lost, going to hell and completely without hope. So Merry Christmas to all. Let us always remember why we should use that term for that day. And remember Christ, our Savior, came to earth so he could show us the way.
My first poem is entitled Out in the Deep. I stepped out into the deep, determined I would do God's will. Obstacles were in my way, but I would step out still. I just kept on moving because I knew God had a way. I just had to trust him, to listen and obey. In time, I grew weary, afraid I couldn't go the length. Then I was filled with laughter. You see, his joy is my strength. But it is not by my strength. I'm not in this all alone. God will not forsake me. He'll never leave me on my own. But things were getting harder and I almost let go. Then I heard God whisper, child, there's something you should know. I have sought you out, and I will see you through. You see, you aren't holding me. It is I who's holding you. Then finally I got it. I began to understand. It is not by my ability. It is only by God's will.
This poem to God is called, Where Were You? Where were you? I've been looking, seems now 30 years, since your call first rang inside me, and your voice did still my fears for a few days. Then it left me searching pathways ever since for the source from which that voice came, and the peace that must exist. We were separate, made of different stuff, naturally seemed opposed due to circumstance that painted models, religious folks with clothes, matching shoes, and fine accessories, down to the well-cocked hat, yelling, darling, we're so glad you came, but just stay where you're at. Don't fingerprint God's hymn books, but sing as others do. The only way through heaven's gates is mine lowly sinners, silly children hope for more. Earthly worries and umbrella must be toted out the door when you leave God's house. You'll make it, though He never goes outside. So on your own, try harder, puff that chest out, filled with pride, till we meet, same place, same station, to compare our worldly feats, and to work our way to heaven while the weary roam the streets. Where were you? Now I know you. You were right beneath my nose. While my ambling path round, and folks whisper, heaven knows, quick, child's gone, what she's doing. Is she hell-bent now or sane? You calmly sat at His right hand ere my lips spoke your name. And then these bent, self was not enough. I needed you for more. So you helped me raise my hand to knock, then opened up the door to eternity, awesome, wonder-filled. You drew me by a thread woven pure before existence, stronger than my willful will. Where were you? Here, within my heart, abiding day by day. So the roads I roamed while seeking you have now become the way that you drew me, yes, by Jesus, down my own self-tarnished path, as the way, the truth, the life became exactly the exact. Now, present tense incorporates the weary, well-worn trail of freedom. Definition comes of what was once my jail, and of why you waited patiently, though stumbling was my style. True love yields. You'd rather lose us all